Hello and welcome back to the FIFA 23 Arsenal career mode. This is part 19 and we are here fresh off the back of some more beautiful dubs from the boys. We are looking at the Europa League fixture here against PSV Eindhoven. Arsenal just run away with it in this Europa League group really. We've won all four games. Which leaves us with 12 points, which is 5 points clear of the nearest rival, which is PSV Eindhoven. It's not a game that we need to play, so again, I won't be playing that one. I'll just be simulating it, just to get this one over and out of the way, because there's no need for us to be playing those games where the outcome really doesn't matter. So we'll get ourselves stuck into the calendar. Let's go to the weekly schedule. Just skip ahead of that. Okay, so we have a massive game. Manchester City away coming up, so that is the one we will skip to. Let's go to a day before. Again, I don't really care about that PSV result. It could go either way. So we've got a 1-1 draw. That'll do. So we have undefeated in the Europa League group, which is it's always a good sign, isn't it? As I say, we'll get stuck into Manchester City away. Very tough game. I think this is one that ended up being postponed in real life, so we've got some kind of progress assessment here. Not sure what's going on. We're not doing that youth development target very well at all, are we? 10 wins in away match this season, easy. Signed 4 of the best players in the world, 82 plus overall. Again, very easy to do. Win the Europa League Cup, looking good. Win the FA Cup, finish the Champions League place. So domestic goals aren't too high. I mean, that's obviously realistic for what were hoping to achieve initially at the beginning of the season, top four. But Mikel Arteta is more than blown that expectation out of the water, with us currently cruising at the top of the Premier League. So that team is extremely intimidating, isn't it, from Manchester City? Phil Foden, Haaland. They've signed Oyarzabal as a replacement for Riyad Mahrez, it seems, on the right, with Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Calvin Phillips in the midfield there. We're not seeing a lot of Calvin Phillips at the moment. Kind of fallen out of favour. It was very good performance for Leeds and what he did for England, but just hasn't been the same since his move to Manchester City. A lot of that is due to the lack of game time he's getting, due to the extensive quality in that team. I think he's seen the pound signs and just jumped at it, so I don't think he's kind of too bothered about that. But it seems like they've signed Lucas Vasquez as a right back. I'm not sure that's something Pep would have done in real life, but hey, and Akanji and Laporte in the middle there, with Cancelo still with them on this career mode, obviously, but has since moved on in real life. So we'll get ourselves stuck into it. We have whipped out the first team, lads. But this is a huge game in terms of title. As I say, I think this was one that was postponed in real life due to the unfortunate passing of Queen Elizabeth. This one was pushed back. Here we are, we're away. So a colossal fixture, this one. When we come to this in real life, it will be almost a title decider, with both Arsenal and Manchester City taking those first and second spots respectively. Arsenal just taking it, edging it at the moment with 5 points. And as I say, the mentality is a big issue for Manchester City at the moment, so that's something that we'll hope to take advantage of. A lot of past experience between Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. We did get a little taster of that in the FA Cup tie between Arsenal and Manchester City, with Manchester City just coming out on top of that with a narrow 1-0 win, but that was one that really could have gone either way. With Arsenal starting a lot of their second string players, in terms of Rob Holding, Kieran Tierney, and Lokonga, it wasn't what we expect from Arsenal. It won't be the team that we start against them in the league. So it was kind of Rob Holding against Haaland. It was an interesting battle. Haaland's burning through there, not able to take advantage of it. I feel like Oyarzabal could have shot there and probably scored, but he didn't. And we do escape with it, almost. Yeah, it was a very interesting tactical battle. It wasn't the most thrilling game, I'm not going to lie. I think it was a very tense and tactical affair. I think there's a lot of nervous players out there on that day. It was at the Etihad, so you know the odds were against Arsenal.
And players waiting in the centre.
But there's a lot of positive to take from that performance, and I don't think it'll have any effect mentally when they come up against Manchester City in the league. If anything, they'll take positives from it and kick on. Leao driving through, strikes, rifled it into the back of the net. Never in doubt, is it? When this man's through on goal, it is a goal. Rafael Leao. So interestingly, he has a game face in this career mode, but on Ultimate Team he doesn't seem to have one uploaded yet, so not sure what that is, but absolute rocket past Edison into the back of net, and the bold Pep Guardiola clapping his hands in his cardigan. Beautiful, beautiful scenes. I do think we're geared now to challenge this kind of Manchester City side. We aren't the Arsenal of old. We are a new look side under Mikel Arteta, and I certainly have a lot of hope for those games, whereas before you kind of knew we were getting about 6, maybe 7 stuck past you every game, and it was, you know, 3 or 4 years where that was a very consistent thing to have happen to us. So it's nice to feel like you have the upper hand against Manchester City. You know, it's something that we haven't felt for a very long time. But as I say, it's a mixture of Manchester City being off the boil and Arsenal really kind of hitting the ground with Mikel Arteta stuck with him, and it's more than paid off, and it's absolutely beautiful to see. So these Manchester City games, as I say, still both fixtures to play, so they'll be colossal, those 6 points. With both games feeling like it's a six pointer in itself, because obviously a win will not only give you 3 points, but it will rob your opposition of getting the 3 points. So those will be very, very highly tense matches, and I think certainly in the home leg of that, I think we'll get the 3 points that we need. Definitely have questions about whether we'll be able to do that at the Etihad. A loss, maybe a draw, but I'd certainly take a draw at the Etihad, as long as you get something in that fixture at the Emirates. We kind of seem a bit out of sorts here. Oh, problems. Yeah, Phil Foden equalises for Manchester City. I'm not sure what happened there. It just felt like Ramsdale was alone seemingly forever, so I'm not sure what happened there. We'll have to review that one, but still plenty of time to get ourselves ahead again. But this is certainly the toughest fixture Arsenal will face. Manchester City at the Etihad. It doesn't get any more difficult than that. And Gabriel Jesus making Pep rue his decision to sell him on to his rivals. What a finish. Just gently guided it under Edison into the back of the net.
Well, as you can see,
taken brilliantly. Good forward running from Kieran Tierney. It's a low strike. Probably should be doing better with that, Edison, but he took it well, Jesus. And that's another one that would be interesting to keep your eyes on. Obviously, with Gabriel Jesus out at the moment due to injury, when that fixture does roll around that we do face Manchester City, Gabriel Jesus will be back from his injury and should be starting unless Eddie Nketiah continues in his brilliant goal charge to keep Jesus out of the team, which is a possibility. Eddie Nketiah has come in and has really taken the reins in style. But it'll be interesting to see how Jesus fares against his old club. And same with Zinchenko. I mean, him starting is very likely due to his ability to control a game and settle the nerves. That is a brutal tackle from Phil Foden. I'm not sure what's going on here. And again, followed up by, I think it was Gundogan immediately afterwards. I'm not sure what's going on there. They're getting a little bit aggressive now. I think they're really turning on the press. Granit Xhaka. Yeah, they are. It seems to be pressing a bit more intensely now. So we'll just see what we can do to counter that. Ben White, got to be winning that. It wasn't the cleanest of challenges, but he has won it. Knocked out for a throw. Phil Foden turning on a dime. There's so much talent in this Manchester City team. some kind of success is inevitable. Haaland lining up a power shot there, but held well by Ramsdale. We've let the boys fan out a bit, and then we'll distribute and get the attack going.
Granit Xhaka. On the ball, Rafael Leao. Thomas Partey.
Partey knocking that into Jesus. Ødegaard rolls his man. He's through, strikes it. For some reason switched onto his weaker right foot, which was then blocked and knocked out for a corner, which Saka will whip in. Just over the head of Gabriel Saliba. Thomas Partey hoovering up the loose ball as always. Looking a good ball through to Saka. He pulls it back for Granit Xhaka. Back of the net. 3-1. Runs into the post in celebration. But that is absolutely beautiful. For some reason he's done the Heung-min Son celebration there. That's a little bit of a tease to the boy, I imagine. Saka does very well there, drags it back. Xhaka calm and just rockets it into the back of the net. 3-1, you can't see City coming back into this now. Now this would be the absolute dream. This could happen in real life, because as I say, that win against Manchester City will not only have a big mental effect, but in terms of the point difference, it will mean colossal amounts. City far from being consistent this season, but Arsenal really have been, with only one loss. Had a couple of draws, one against Southampton, the other one against Newcastle United. The Southampton one was, again, a bit gutting. Both of them were actually they're kind of similar in style, where Arsenal dominating the ball, dominating the play, but just unable to find the breakthrough that they needed to get the win. But never kind of at risk of losing those games. Just an inability to find that final ball to break them down. But they do stick a lot of plays back there, so it's just offside. Rafael Leao, we thought he was away again. We'll have to have a look at that one. Was close, but yeah, he's quite clear. So Calvin Phillips, interestingly, dropping into the middle of their back four there to form almost a back five. I'm not sure that's what Pep would be happy with in real life. I'm not sure he'd want that back five going on. But that's the way they're setting up here. So Bernardo Silva getting absolutely crunched by Granit Xhaka. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. The temper is there in the man. You can't take that out of him.
Yeah, the ref's got that right. It's a yellow card all day long.
Wouldn't want it any other way. It's got to be done. De Bruyne lining one up. Gone full power here, and well, that is an interesting one from Kevin De Bruyne. Again, can't quite see him doing that in real life, but we will take it in this game for sure. We're slicing through them like butter here. There doesn't seem to be any kind of resistance. It's a bit too easy. Jesus charging through against Calvin Phillips. Rockets into the back of the net again. 4-1. It is too easy here. This is something we would love to see in real life. I really don't think it's going to pan out this way. I think it's going to be extremely tense, but we will more than take it here. But it'd be interesting to have a look at the league table. I haven't checked it recently, but I feel like we are running away with things here. It wasn't looking like anybody was actually close to us. I think last time I looked, it was Aston Villa and Liverpool or something, and again they were a good 5 points or so behind us already at this early stage of the season. So interested to see how things are looking now. That's kind of just winning every single game, really. Newcastle, it looked like we're taking points off Manchester United. They were another potential rival, but we are a top side. We have strength in seemingly every area now. So to do this at the Etihad would be a massive statement. Any kind of win at the Etihad is a massive statement. There's a lot of pressure on Arsenal when they do travel here in the league, because as I say, there's a lot of talk about how important this fixture is. But just to do something at the Emirates will be sufficient. I think Manchester City is so inconsistent that even if they do manage to beat us at the Etihad, I think the rest of the fixtures that Manchester City have to play, I don't think they're going to be taking all the points from them. So it puts less of an emphasis on the games between Arsenal and Manchester City when Arsenal are so consistent and Manchester City are dropping the points that they are. There's a lot of discourse within the club right now, and it's not looking ideal for them. Okay, so a very solid win over Manchester City. An email about being manager of the Polish team. I really don't want to do that. Martin Odegaard, he keeps DMing me, talking about his game time. You're going to get game time, son. You're captain lead legend. So what we'll do actually real quick is we'll just take a look at the table. Yeah, so Aston Villa still sitting in second place, 11 points behind us. So no threat there. And as I say, you have to think that Aston Villa will be dropping off. So it's an interesting top five with Southampton creeping in there fifth place, Spurs in fourth, Chelsea third, Aston Villa second. So we have Aston Villa and Southampton in the top five. No sign of Manchester City, no sign of Manchester United, no sign of Liverpool. So there's some big boys dropping out there. And as I say, we are 11 points clear of the nearest rivals, who are Aston Villa, who will certainly be dropping off at some point. So it's almost in the bag for us at this early stage. We do have Aston Villa at home coming up right here. So I would say it's not really a big game, is it? Because we're kind of playing second place. But it's Aston Villa. A bit of a mixed bag. So what we'll do is we'll just make a couple of rotations here. We've got some tired-looking lads, just to kind of salvage fitness levels. So Kieran Tierney at left-back is looking a bit fatigued. So who do we bring in? Who can play in that position? I mean, Zinchenko, but then we don't have anyone to put at DM. It's difficult. So Ben White, who we've got? So we've got Saliba and Gabriel, who both are looking quite tired anyway. But what we'll do is we'll put Tomiyasu at centre back because he can play there, and we'll put Wagnerman on. I'm just thinking about what to do with Kieran Tierney at left back there. I'm almost tempted to just leave him, just let him play that one out, or maybe we could just put Zinchenko in. No, we'll just do it. We'll just play him with his slightly concerning stamina. Not too much of a problem. As I say, Aston Villa at home should be one that is relatively straightforward. But it is, yeah, as I say, first and second. Us 11 points clear of Aston Villa, who are sitting in second right now. I'm not really sure. I think it's being hyped as a match that is a big occasion purely because they are in second place, but for us to be 11 points clear of them already and for second place to be Aston Villa, it's not something that you should concern themselves about too much. So Aston Villa, never been great on FIFA, never really had the players for it. Grealish obviously being a standout star for them with a £100 million move to Manchester City, unbelievable amounts of money there for that move. He hasn't really hit the ground running at Manchester City. I think his quality is undeniable. But I think the kind of nature of City's underperforming, coupled with his lack of ability to go on the outside of a man, I think it proves very difficult for him to flourish in that Manchester City side. I think kind of the alternative wing with Mahrez, again, not being the physical monster that he once was. I think they're very much the same kind of winger. They're both wanting to cut inside. It kind of doesn't leave a lot of option for their attack, so it makes them kind of pretty predictable, and I think that's another reason as to why they've kind of not looked the same formidable threat that they have been. Obviously, the robot Haaland carrying them towards victories in many games where he's one of those players who you could think will get a hat-trick at any moment in any game. And obviously that is a terrifying player to have in your ranks, but Grealish really hasn't been the player everybody thought he would be. As I say, it's kind of due to a mixture of things. I think he will come good, maybe not 100 million good. I think when you have that kind of price tag on your head, it's very, very difficult to live up to that price tag. I'm not really sure. What do you expect from a £100 million player? What kind of output would justify that type of money? it would have to be
The cross is
insane.
on.
We're talking Champions
Well, from
Leagues,
that position, he
plural,
really
for
should be
100
doing
million.
more
It
to
has
rope
to
the
be a
goalkeeper.
colossal level about. But it's one that I think Erling Haaland
Well,
will
he always has
produce.
to be
Uh,
regarded as a dangerous
there's kind of a
opponent. So
few
what
questions
can we
over
expect to see
what
from
the
him in
fee
this
actually
game,
was
Stuart?
Well,
for
how
him.
can
I
you
think
stop
the
him?
kind of
If
reported
you've got
fee
two
was
sides, he'll
40
use
or
the
50
space
million or
behind him.
something. But I think
A
we
lot
all
more from
know that
midfield
there's
and run at you. Add that
much
to his
more to
movement
that
in the
deal
box,
than
and you can
meets the
see why
eye,
he scored
because
so many goals.
that kind of money for Haaland um, would not be possible. Dortmund would not have let him go for that kind of
The
money.
quality of pass
Um,
needs to be a bit better.
and I don't think Haaland will be on a slim wage either. I think he's fully aware of his ability, and I
Heavy
think Dortmund
disguised
were as well.
ball.
And I think they would have extorted every last penny out of Manchester City, who can more
Well,
than afford it.
tremendous
And
work
that's a
from the
good save
keeper
there.
to avert the danger.
Louis Martinez,
A chance
the
now
ex-Arsenal
with
man.
the corner.
So Unai Emery has taken over at Aston Villa.
Can he deliver it with accuracy?
Um,
Well, not
Obviously,
cleared
again,
away
another
completely.
ex-Arsenal man. Unfortunately, just unable to
Martinelli.
succeed at Arsenal. He's kind of a bit of a Europa
Can he
League
put them in
hero.
front?
That was his competition. I think
Well,
we all
it was
thought
a
when he came
wonderful
in that
chance, but the
that was
goalkeeper
inevitable. And
comes
especially when we got
through.
to the
Yes,
Europa
Derek, you
League
have to
final
give
with him, it
credit to
was
the
almost
keeper,
a
but
sealed deal.
surely he should have scored there.
But
That's a big, big chance.
Chelsea are always a tough team, and it was
Well, I
Chelsea
have
that
to
we
say,
faced in the
these
Europa League
Arsenal
final.
fans are doing everything
And
to
unfortunately,
inspire the
Olivier
team. They're
Giroud, of all
creating so
people,
many chances here.
again, another ex-Arsenal
Now
man,
can they counter
scorer against us in
clinically?
that final. I think he did assist another
Well,
one
he
as
has very
well,
much
just to
been the
take
talk
that
of the town
silverware
going
away from
into this
Arsenal
match.
and
Up
back
against his
home
old
to
club today, he was
the
always going
blue
to be
side
front
of
and
London,
centre, and you have
in
to
the form of
say there's
Chelsea.
been an awful lot of goodwill. He must
Strike from
finish.
Nelson off the post,
Oh,
very
could
good
this
hit.
be off the post?
Eddie Nketiah, we
Brilliantly
are
blocked.
peppering at the moment. So it wasn't
Well,
to be for
Arsenal
Unai
were so
Emery.
close to taking the lead. But
He
if they
was
keep
released,
making chances and play as they
and
are
that
doing, it's
did
surely
give
only a matter
birth
of time
to
before they do
the
so.
beauty that we have
Yes,
today.
near indeed.
Is Mikel
And now they've
Arteta.
got to
So
concentrate on keeping their
it was very
defensive
much
shape.
a blessing in disguise.
Well,
I
that's a
think
well-timed
that was
pass.
probably the lowest
Well,
points
not
for
allowed
Arsenal
to
fans.
continue. He had drifted
Um,
into the offside position.
Well, if he
Watching the
takes a step
performances
back to the
under
ball and
Emery,
then
looking at
spins
the
in
team we
behind,
had under
he'll be
Emery, it was
offside. But he does know where the
very
space is.
disheartening, and that's why it's so
Nketiah,
relieving to see the energy and
great jump in
the
front.
passion of these players
Well, really,
that
they
are
keep the
working for Mikel
goalkeeper's life
Arteta, and that is
simple.
why you
That
see
should
the
be hitting the
Emirates
back of the
bouncing
net.
now.
That was a big,
It's
big
become a
chance.
cauldron of energy, and that lifts the players as well, especially in those home games. We are making the Emirates a
Martinelli.
fortress again. Good strike from
Well,
Smith
how
Rowe,
close
just
was
wide
that? Inches
as we
away.
look for Adeta. He looks a lot like Kevin De Bruyne there, actually, doesn't he, Smith Rowe? Not quite the same level in terms of his play style, but still plenty of room for him to grow.
And
So a
there it is,
tight
the
and
referee's
tense
whistle.
0-0
The
here
first half has come
against
to
Aston
an
Villa
end here in
against
North
Unai
London.
Emery, the old Arsenal man, who has got some very interesting tactics. He's not a traditional manager as such. It's a big task for him to take on Aston Villa. Again, there's an
Well, the
acceptable
two
amount of
teams have
quality in there,
switched around, and the second
um,
half is underway.
but it's certainly a lot on his plate, and I think he's caused a few problems for the big managers with what he can do tactically, but they're not excelling and they're not tanking. So he's doing a solid job with them.
Still level
Um,
here, but the pressure
but I think he's going to
escalating.
craft them into something to be reasoned with. I think Aston Villa have
Nicodine
previously been a bit of
and
a
Coutinho, and whipped
you know
into
a
the
bit of
box.
an easy
That's
6
all they can
points or an
conjure for
easy
now.
3 points whenever you face them. But I think with
Well, the
Unai Emery,
unbelievable Premier
you
League
worry what's
action
going to come out
coming
of the
up
bag
for you soon
tactically. They
on
do have
EA
some good
TV.
outlets
It's Arsenal
up
taking
top.
on Brighton.
Um, Players like Leon Bailey, who again do provide that intense energy for them and
Still
always gives
dangerous.
them a chance. With them definitely causing Manchester United some
Nketiah
problems. And
must take
Nketiah
the
through
lead
here, good
here.
save by
Oh, he's
Martinez, but he
been
needs to
denied,
be scoring
and
that.
they remain locked
A
together.
very
Well,
good
that's
chance
a
for
good
Smith
save,
Rowe.
but really he should have scored from there. That's a big chance.
Top save from
Trying to pick out a
Martinez.
teammate. Well, not the best
Zinchenko with
clearance.
a effort. Very hopeful, that one, I think.
Fantastic
Not
work
sure
to
what that
thwart
was
the
from
danger.
Vieira. The
This
cheeky
might be
back heel
ideal for
straight
the
into the
counter.
first man. Tyrone Mings, Benjamin Pavard. So they've actually signed
Boubacar
Benjamin Pavard there,
Kamara.
which is interesting.
Ings.
Not sure that
He read the
Pavard would be a
situation
player
defensively and
Bayern
did his
Munich would
job.
let go in real life,
Ings.
but
On to Bailey.
certainly on this game.
Coutinho. A routine
Good
save.
save from Ramsdale. Held tightly. So again, we'll just wait for the boys to fan out a bit give ourselves some width, give ourselves an option. Kieran Tierney.
And don't forget, we have more Premier League action coming
Evan,
up
so
for
we
you
might need
on
to bring on
EA
some first
TV.
team boys
It's
here.
Aston
Things
Villa
continue
facing
to
West
remain
Ham United.
stagnant, which is looking like it
Very
might do.
timely
Just unable to find
interception.
the breakthrough.
Bodies forward and the break looks on.
Be interesting to see
The referee's letting it go as they keep
whether
the
Emi
ball.
Buendia is playing it today. I don't think I've seen him yet, but obviously they've got Felipe Coutinho.
Coutinho.
Still got Danny Ings on here, who in real life has just
And the
secured his
cross
move
smothered
to
away.
West Ham United. Kind of a
Danny
Premier
Ings.
League
Superb block on the
eternal,
move to
isn't he,
play
Danny
ball
Ings?
from
He
the
kind of
flank.
seems to
In possession,
always
but
be
pressure to
playing
cope
for
with.
one
And
team or
both
another in the
hands
Premier
on it.
League.
Good
And it does seem to
goalkeeping.
have been there forever, but he's been to Southampton, been to Aston Villa, been to West Ham. He's been about.
Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli with a turn inside. Finds Smith Rowe,
Oh,
who
he's
then knocks it
through
onto
here.
Nketiah, who is through on goal.
Well,
Goes
loads
one
goes
more. I probably
defending,
shouldn't have
but
gone one more.
brilliant defending.
That was on me. Probably should have just been sticking that in the back of the net, really. And that's it. You know, for a
Boubacar Kamara.
first and second place game, it is actually quite a tight game.
Well, I'm hearing a goal
You know, we're
has
not
gone
running away
in
from
the
this.
United game. Alex Scott with the details.
It's another for
But
Brighton.
there's no
Now
concern
behind
here
by one with
for us to be 11
77
points
minutes to
clear
Many
this
thanks
early
as
on.
ever, Alex.
Comedy
They've given
goals.
it
Fabio
away.
Vieira.
And that pass
Poor.
could be troublesome.
Very poor.
Oh, but
What can we do here with substitutions? I know we've only got 10 minutes left, but is it worth it? No, I don't think so. I think we'll save the
he's
boys
done
for the next game.
brilliantly to cut it
The
out.
first team lads. We'll just stick with the
Well, they
youth.
still have designs
And just
on
hope
the
they can
wing.
find a breakthrough in these final 10 minutes. We are committing a lot of players forward.
Nketiah.
Just hope that one of them does find the breakthrough. And Ketia
Oh, you don't want to
holds
lose
onto the
from
ball
that
well. It was a bit
position.
messy in there, but he's done well to retain possession.
And with that,
Just
they've
unable to
thwarted
move the ball quick enough, I
opportunity.
think. They've got a lot of players packed back here, Aston Villa. In fact, the entire team is stuffed back in their own half here, so it's very difficult to break down. Smith Rowe looking to find that reverse pass, just couldn't quite squeeze it through to Nelson. And Aston Villa will now launch a counter attack.
Pavard.
Hopefully, it is one that we can
With
control.
Torrini.
It's looking like we're going to be okay.
He
Yeah,
takes it away.
Martinelli. There's a lot of space out wide there for Nelson if we can find it. Very good ball.
So 1 minute of stoppage.
Nketiah through one-on-one. Can he finesse that into the bottom corner? No. Saved again by Emi Martinez, who's been incredible today. That coupled with some very poor finishing and the tight first versus second match ends in a 0-0. So we're not going to run any further away with it. But I've just seen Manchester City dropping points there to West Ham. Another big one. So we'll have a look at the standings. So Arsenal again, 10 points clear now, with Chelsea picking up a win. But yeah, nothing to fear there in terms of results, is it? So, okay, I think we'll call it there for this part. I will see you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.